I want to start a new series on this podcast. Before starting my dissertation business, started a life coaching business for women who were trying to work through and untangle and unravel their childhood abuse, whatever form that came in. And I was showing up, I was doing blogs, I was marketing, I had a podcast, or for people who even knew what podcasts were. And I couldn't figure out the making money part from it, but I loved the work that I was doing. And it wasn't until a coach was like, you need to learn how to make money. So maybe you should do the dissertation thing because that's a skill. And until you figure out how to do this abuse thing, because girl, nobody wants to talk about that. And what I was getting from those around me was like, nobody wants to talk about that. Over the past 7, 8 years, though, that's all people want to talk about, is what I've learned. Now, they don't want to talk about it and probably in front of other people or out in the open because we all are hiding in shame and secrecy. But that's all I talk about with my clients. And I think it's really funny how the universe works, because I thought I had to get rid of that business and let it go. But I just needed to do some other work for myself as well as learn business to be able to effectively handle what was going to come. Because let me tell you, I believe in my bones that this is going to be bigger than I can ever imagine. I have a renewed sense, like a renewed spirit about this, that I understand more so now than ever. This is the purpose. This was my purpose, was to help people navigate abuse, because just because it happened in childhood, it's still showing up. It's things that have marked our lives. And if it's not for you, it's not for you, friend. Go please listen to the other episodes. I want to do this series because I believe deep in my bones that so many people are going to benefit from it. But more importantly, y'all, I'm going to benefit. Like, because I honestly believe this is the next level of healing for me. I had a friend who was like, you've been grieving for years, but you never really had an opportunity to mourn. And she would say that, and I would be like, why does she keep saying that? Isn't that the same thing? And so me, who I am, the academic that I am, I'm like, words mean things. Let me go look it up. And the difference here is like grief is the process, the undoing, the range of emotions. Mourning is the outward expression of the process of grieving. It's the outward expression. And I have been trying to, now that I can look back, I can see the ways that I have tried to mourn through like working, like trying to build the business to make it bigger and bigger. What I wasn't doing was sharing my truth along with that, because to have an outward expression of the pain, the despair, the depression, the anger, the bargaining, like all the stages of grief, to have an outward expression of that means I also have to tell you my story. I haven't really been telling my story. And what I thought was interesting as I was thinking about all of this is that when for the longest, y'all, since YouTube was a thing, it became a thing, I wanted to be a YouTuber. I wanted to have a YouTube channel. And I've made videos. I made lots of videos. But I was thinking about how on my personal account that the most watched video is the one where I'm telling my story of being sexually abused as a child and telling my parents and them not believing me, and that until this day they don't believe me. They don't believe me, but they say it like, oh, I don't remember that happening, although we've had these conversations multiple times. But if you were to go up to them, they would say, I don't remember. And I can understand now why they might say that. Doesn't mean I'm agreeing with them, but I understand why they have that stance. But that is a video that has the highest number of views. And I feel like you can't hear me. I feel like I'm a mess, right? But I remember me doing that video and I could not watch it. I still don't think I've watched it since then. I might do that on an episode. But I would tell you, things changed for me when I made that video. Just the very act of me telling my story changed so much inside of me in terms of how I was able to acknowledge what happened to me, not just the initial abuse, but also the reactions. Because that level of betrayal of people telling you they don't remember or they don't believe you oftentimes has more of an impact than the original event that sparked it. That did so much to me. Like I remember after uploading that video, the clarity that I had, I moved differently. Like the my anxiety wasn't as strong. And up to that point of making that video, I could not finish the last parts of my program. I couldn't finish my dissertation. I couldn't even start it. After doing that video, it released something in me and I was able to take action in ways that I couldn't before. And I'm not sitting here saying it was the video and I everything perfectly happened after that. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it was a release. Why? Because I released the pent up emotions. I released the story. I stopped trying to hold it all in and I told someone. And you know what happened? More people watch it. People, I feel like I no doubt get at least 1 to 2 messages a week, even today. And this video was 2016, 2017, I think. 20, it had to be 2016 or 2015. Like releasing that video was that long ago. And I still get messages to this day of like, thank you so much for sharing your story. I can't believe you went through that too. I went through that. And it's not until now that I was like, probably should do that more. But to be truthful, y'all, had that business taken off in 2015 or whatnot, because that was another reason why I did the video, because I wanted to show people I could relate to you. But had that business taken off then, I wouldn't have been prepared for it because there was a lot more work I needed to do. And I'm not saying I've done all my work, I'm healed. No, but I am saying who I am today is more equipped to handle the business than who I was then. And the universe is funny because it was sent the coach to tell me, change your course, learn business, and continue to do your work, and that it's going to come back around. And now here I am. The other thing I want to talk about is this is why I went towards astrology and tarot. I was looking for a way to make sense of what I was experiencing. I am I am someone who is very well how do I want to say this? Christianity is how I say this. Christianity did not give me all the answers I was looking for, or it was not communicating that the religion part. Let me say it that way. The religion of Christianity was not helping me to understand things in a way that I needed to understand them. And to just say, oh, you just need to believe it's true because it's true, doesn't quite work for me. I'm not talking about having faith. I'm talking about translating text, translating ideals and beliefs into a way that I can make sense of why did all these things happen. And I don't think we're going to ever get to a point where we know 1000% everything, why and how everything has happened to us. I am saying I was trying to find a way. I hope I can say this in the way I'm feeling it. I was trying to find a way to make it make sense for me. And I'm not saying astrology and tarot were the perfect answers. Boom, I got it all figured out, but they are tools that has helped me to take my understanding further. I say that to say astrology and tarot has helped me to see that life is very cyclical. Life is very cyclical and that it's not all on me. Meaning, I used to think that it was my fault that the abuse happened, that it was my fault that I had the parents that I had. It was my fault that my life was the way it is in terms of like from childhood and in the past, that it was all on me because there was something wrong with me because I was broken. And what I now understand is no, it's not because I'm broken. Shit happens, people happen. And while it's not my fault that those things happened, it is my responsibility to untangle it, to work through it, to learn the lessons, to identify who is it that I want to become. I am no way saying that in order to do your healing work that you need to, use astrology, tarot, or Christianity. I'm just saying it just helped me to do that. It helped me to mourn, to have an outward expression of all the things that I have been processing over 30 plus years of what's been going on in my life. And I say all of this to say that I want to share more with you about what happened to me and the lessons I learned from it and how it has helped me in my healing journey, in hopes that it can give you something to help you in your healing journey. We may not have the same story or the same experiences, but it is my hope that it can start to help you. It can start to release things for you. I will say that if any time what I share over this series becomes too much for you, please stop listening. Please cut it off. Please block me. Do whatever you need to do for you. In no way do I want this to activate you in such a way that it impairs like your normal functioning day to day. I will encourage you to, like, anything that may come up for you, to work with a therapist. I will ask you to go get the things that you need if anything comes up. And I will continue to share because I wish that I had someone that I could watch when I was trying to figure this all out. I wish I had someone who looked like me, who said, I went through this too. And here are some helpful things. Because it wasn't, it's great to know that other people have similar experiences to you. And we also need to figure out, but what do we do now? It's great to talk about it. That's going to do wonders. And what do we do? And so, twofold, that is what I want this series to do on this podcast. Happy, free, and paid. The free part, the happy part. I legit am like, I don't think you get happiness or freedom without doing the healing work, the hard work, the gut wrenching work that it is of healing. Because if you don't, it shows up in your whole life. This episode is titled Navigating Shame in Online Business because I thought I was going to go a whole different direction, y'all. But no, this is it. I see people just bleeding all over the place on the internet. When I say bleeding, I don't mean physically bleeding. I mean their trauma is just showing up in every space. Their trauma is leaving a mark everywhere. Like an example would be I posted something online and this person, well, first it started off like she came in my DMs being like, hey, I just wanted to meet other people. So glad I'm following you. That's what she said. I want you to know my senses said she's lying, but I'm gonna give her a chance because it felt real forced. I was like, okay, whatever. Maybe she wants to meet people. And then I released a video online and she came in my comments disagreeing with everything that I was saying. Now, I'm not upset that people disagree with me. I'm just like, all right, girl. So I sent her a message and I'm like, can you tell me more? I would love to learn your point of view. Like, I would love for us to have a conversation. I think we should be able to disagree more openly. I'm just curious. Tell me. And so then she sends this long message about how she's been doing this and maybe that I'm a new coach. And so maybe I just don't know these things. Like, she made a lot of assumptions. She was just like, we just need to get over it. That's how we get, that's how we get free as a people or something. So she's talking. I was like, yeah, girl, I get you. But that might be your experience, but do you know there are other people for which that is not their experience? I was trying to take the empathetic route, y'all. She just kept going. And I was like, okay, so you want me to act up. That's fine. I didn't act up, y'all. I keep it cute. I don't need to yell or cuss at nobody. I know how to get at you without getting at you. I said, hey, girl, I don't actually, I've been coaching for over 10 years. Number one. Number two, I've been working with clients for just as long. Number three, the video wasn't for you. It was for people of a particular group, but I get how you got here. And four, it sounds like you've been through a lot. And, like you've done a lot of work to bring yourself where you are. And it sounds like it's incredibly lonely. And if it is, just know that I look forward to us having more conversations. I really do appreciate the conversation we had. I hope that we can continue it. You know what she sent me back, y'all? Heart. Let me tell you why I shut her down. Let me tell you why I'm really good at it. People do not know how to handle when you're holding them accountable. At the same time, you're being very empathetic towards them and compassionate towards them. People can't handle it. And she's just one of many for this past, I don't know what it is about this past 3 months, but y'all, people have been coming. And what I recognize is that when someone is compassionately, empathetically holding you accountable, you don't know how to combat that. Like, you don't know, there's no response to it because you can't get upset because they didn't get upset with you, right? You can't be like yelling and cussing at them because that's not the energy they met you with. And you can't tell them that they're wrong because all they did was show you compassion and empathy. They gave you what you really secretly have been fighting for. She was secretly fighting for someone to see her. She has been fighting for people to know, to recognize, like, I put in all this work. I built myself up. I built this amazing business. I did that by myself. She wanted people to see that. And when she's used to operating in a world where people don't acknowledge it or people talk shit about it. So when I came to her and I was like, yeah, girl, that's hard. It sounds incredibly lonely. All her trauma didn't know what to do with that. And it fell apart. And so the next time she came into my DMs was to send me a very script. What is it? Like a very form template type DM about working with her in her new workshop or something. And I was like, see, this is what I'm saying about delusion and trauma. Her trauma did not know how to handle me showing emotions. But when you don't do your healing work, when you don't grieve or mourn, when you don't have the hard conversations, that's what it looks like. I am in no way upset with her. I really do hope that we could have other conversations, but I knew that that was a way to get to the heart of the matter because when I say she was bleeding all over the internet, part of her message and part of the post that she put up afterwards, throwing like what the kids call it, subtweets, but it was on Instagram. Her saying like I built this and I don't believe because my video was about oppression. I don't believe in oppression and you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps and do all the things. Her doing that was her trying to figure out she doesn't know where to place me. And we can get so used to fighting to be seen that we get caught up in that. So her bleeding is she don't need to say that in her video. She didn't need to come at me and her message about you must be new to coaching and this and that. She made a lot of assumptions. Let me give you a different example. A lot of times how I know people are bleeding all over the internet is because they are creating posts, but they're kind of sporadic, or their posts have tinge to it of like, why didn't you sign up for my thing? You're gonna regret it. You need to sign up. See you over there struggling. You could be winning if you was over here. Like, y'all know that energy I'm saying. And it's like, girl, could you stop clogging up my feed with this? If I didn't buy, I'm not going to buy. And you trying to come off as if I'm going to be missing out on something. You trying to come off aggressive. It's not going to get me to buy even more. It's not. Why, girl? Because I see you. I see what's really high, like driving your actions. Maybe you're like, this ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't do this. But do you use work? Do you double down on projects? Do you take on more and more things whenever you're having a hard time? Do you avoid? Maybe your thing is avoiding. You run away. You avoid any and everybody when you're going through a hard time, when your anxiety is becoming too much. Do you feel the need to be perfect when you show up to clients? You got to look a certain way. You got to speak a certain way. Everything needs to be in order for you to like work with clients or sign clients. It's very sneaky, our trauma. It's very sneaky, the bleeding that happens. You think, oh, nobody knows. I got it all together. I'm good. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I don't hate to, actually. People can see it. At least people who have been doing their work can see it. And it's because they've done their work that they don't call you out on it because they understand. In the same way I understood with Homegirl in my DMs, I understand what it's like to try to figure it out when you don't see it clearly. And it's because I've been where she is that I could hold space for her acting up the way she's acting up, that I don't feel a need to cuss her out. I don't feel a need to prove to her over and over how she's wrong. I don't need to prove to her like she needs to change her opinion. I don't need to. I can hold space for, yeah, okay, girl, I get it. I'm willing to be misunderstood because I would much rather her experience what it's like for someone to hold space for her, for someone to let her, for it to have a safe enough space for her to act up that way. She may never talk to me ever again, but at least she had that one experience, whether she can acknowledge it or not, she had it. But it's not even about her. For me, it's about who I am, how I want to interact with people. I want to be able to hold space for people like that. I want to continue to do my work so that other people experience what it's like to be safe in relationships. You can come in and be your full self and someone's still going to love you and be there anyway. Doesn't mean people won't hold you accountable. Doesn't mean people won't hold up boundaries. But there is a way to hold space. Okay, I don't know how I got here, y'all. This is why I need a script. I do know how I got here. How I got here was I was telling you that I was going to do this new series, and these are these moments. That's how I got here. I love doing this work, even though it gets really hard. I love doing it. This is the key to why my dissertation business has lasted as long as it has. I have seen many a dissertation coach come and go, and they try to copy me. And I'm just like, it's fine, girl. Take what you need. Get what you need. It's fine. Why? Because I know that the work that I'm doing with my clients isn't even really about the dissertation. But if you're just watching me online on Instagram, you may foolishly think that's what it's about because you may not know that what I'm really doing is holding space for my clients, probably for the first time ever in their life where they get to be them. They're very nerdy, quirky selves. I love it. I nerd out right with them. I'm quirky right with them. I hold space for them to dream and to talk about things that they can't talk about anywhere else. And a lot of times I'm helping them to see like the brilliance that they already have, that letters and a degree doesn't change that or make or break that. The group is set up in a way so people can learn from each other and they can experience safety. And that also means sometimes they're fighting. They're telling us how we're all wrong. They're telling us how we need to think like them. And we just like, girl, we get you. We get you. I hear you. I have patience for that. I couldn't do this work, y'all, but if I wasn't doing my work though. I love watching clients when they're doing the fighting and like, y'all are wrong. I love watching the transformation that happens 6 months later when they're like, I just love this group so much. I feel so safe. Let me tell you about the nerdy thing that I did yesterday. And to watch the transformation happen. And they're like, thank you for being so patient. Thank you for being you. Thank you for creating this group. And I tell them, no, you did the work. I just held the space. You did the work. You had the hard conversations. You kept coming back. You asked the questions. You grappled with the things that didn't quite make sense. I just held the space for you to do that. But I wouldn't be able to hold space for people if I didn't do my own work, if somebody else didn't allow me to be foolish and to figure things out and to grapple. So I want to do this series because it's my way of giving back. It's my way of continuing my mourning process. It's a way to continue to be the person I wanted to be. Now, if you made it this far in this episode, I want to say you're a real one and I appreciate you. I know it's not going to be for everyone, but I would love to know any things that come up for you. Okay, I'm going to end this episode because, again, I went all the way off, but I look forward to y'all hearing these things. Oh, and I forgot to tell you that the series is going to be me reading my old blog posts. It's me going back to my old Google Drive and reading them because I was reading them the other day and I was like, hey, what not girl, you were dropping gems and I didn't know. I'm like, I can't because I went back to rewrite them. I'm like, I can't say it any better than what I already said it 6 years ago, 7 years ago. We gonna read it. So that's gonna be fun. So I get to visit past me, and I'm so grateful to her because, girl, there's at least 25, if not more, episodes. I am so thankful to her. Okay, but for real, let's go. I'm gonna talk to you in the next episode. Bye, y'all.